Coming up.
You've been waiting your whole life for that moment.
Back in my day, we just sat on a pie.
Different parts of your voice, moving it around your body, and you can really hear that shift. It's great.
Conjure electricity from your fingers.
We just sat on a pie and hoped for the best.
You speak for yourself, mate.
I know you don't think there should be.
I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too whatever.
And I'm feeling it very, very vividly right now.
But again, it's just about you. It's about you and what you can do.
I have something deep within me that I think probably clicks into that.
And these were all done by a single person.
Do what feels fun.
And now, enjoy the podcast.
How do you say that?
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 Hello and welcome to How Do You Say That, sponsored by BritishVoiceover.co.uk. Here's my co-host, Samantha Boffin.
Hello. And here's my co-host, Mark Rice.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, this is what it's all about. Every week we set out to prove there isn't just one way to read a script, there are lots of different ways.
But how do you do that? Surely some scripts are always the same regardless of who's voicing it, but we say no. So listen on, my podcast friends.
And we always get to play true or false as well. I love that. My podcast friends. I'm going to stick with that.
My podcast friends.
So, Sam, here's my true or false. I've had to buy 2 new padlocks this week, one for the office and one for the garage. True or false?
Bloody hell. Is it really rough around your area? That you're buying padlocks? True or false? True or false? I think you've been quite organised this week, so I suspect it is true.
It is true. The one on the garage broke because it had been so long before I took the garage one off, so I had to buy a new one for there. And then I tried to bend the key in my office one and broke it, so I had to buy a new one for the office as well.
You're not 2 trips, though? Not two trips.
Oh, no, I did them at once.
No, you did them at once, okay. Okay, well, so Mark, my true or false is I have a shop window dummy in my bedroom called Susan. Is that true or false?
I so want it to be true, but I know you now. You're getting sneaky with these. I suspect you've got a shop window dummy in your bedroom, but I suspect it's not called Susan, so I'm going to call false.
Well, she is called Susan, actually, and she is in my bedroom, and she sometimes terrifies me in the middle of the night.
That would terrify me.
I've got 3 shop window dummies in my house.
I once went to a boy's house and woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom quite hungover, and there was a Dalek, a full-size Dalek in the hall. It scared the crap out of me.
Oh, now that
You'd have loved
something I would love to have in the house, a full-scale Dalek.
Anyway. Let's welcome our special guest, voiceover Elroy Spoonface Powell. Hello, Spoon. How are you?
Hello, and thank you very much for having me.
From Jamaica.
Nice.
And I love the fact we can join the world on this podcast.
Oh, we global.
we
global right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is.
Let's find out a little bit more about Spoon, shall we, Sam?
So Elroy Spoonface Powell, a.k.a. Spoon the Voice Guy, is an award-winning voice actor known for his commanding performances in gaming, film and TV. His role as Jack Matt in Dying Light 2 won him the One Voice Award for Best Male Voice in Gaming.
Yeah, very well deserved too. He's also voiced Minecraft legends Harold Halibut. He appeared in Star Wars Episode 7 and Fighting with My Family.
Love that movie.
With a background in music, Spoon blends vocal mastery with storytelling. His work in mindfulness and EFT enhances his ability to deliver authentic, emotionally rich performances. He's also collaborated with UNESCO, amplifying Indigenous voices. So, Spoon, can you tell us your fun fact, please?
Well, I am a brown belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh.
No.
Yes, and I love it.
Obviously, that's high. Is it the highest?
It's one before black. And,
Wow.
you know, to be honest, once you get to black, you start again. You really change, you shift your focus.
Really?
After every grading, you shift your focus and start again and think about how you can refine and make things solid and keep it moving and keep growing. But for me, the practice is more than enjoying choking people out. It's been,
So much more than that.
It's been a great way to fuse stress relief, self-awareness, focus, and consistency into all the other areas of my life. Yeah. It's great for everyone. It's great for adults too. Some people can, you know, this mindset pops up. Oh, I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too whatever. It's okay. Just get stuck in and work at your own pace.
Well, with that martial art mindfulness in mind, let's have a look at our first script of the show and ask, how do you say that?
How do you say that?
Okay, so, as always,
Yes.
this script was specially chosen to be the absolute opposite of your script, Spoon.
We do try and make them different.
It did laugh because your script was titled Muffin Pants. So to be honest, it wasn't that hard to find a script that was the exact opposite of Muffin Pants.
This feels a bit like a charity script in a way. Is it a raising money or is it a informational film for a charity, something like that?
Well, interestingly, it's not specifically, well, I suppose it is raising money a bit. It's an internal video for a very large organisation that I won't mention who it is, to encourage them to keep raising money for this particular charity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the end listener is who?
The end listener is all of the people, I would imagine, that are part of this enormous global organisation.
Okay. So like an
charitable
internal
things.
film that goes out on email on a Monday morning.
Also be on their website, but also be part of their meetings and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions about this script, Spoon, that you've got?
It seems very serious. One of those very, deep, heartfelt, we need to do something about this kind of scripts.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. And I, to be honest, I chose it because I absolutely wanted to hear you do it.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking,
I knew she'd done that, Spoon. I knew as soon as I saw it. I knew that. Is it trachoma?
Yes, trachoma.
The odd word.
Trachoma, actually, and it's benign.
Trachoma.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad you asked that, Spoon, because I didn't know that either. So, okay, I'm going to try and go into charity mode. It's like, I know that Spoon's coming after me, so it's like, I'm just going to try and do the best I can.
Is there a charity mode? Do you think there's a charity mode?
I know you don't think there should be. I have something deep within me that I think probably clicks into that, maybe. But let's see, shall we? Let's see. TrueSight helps to treat and prevent 5 debilitating diseases that affect more than 1 billion people globally. These are known as neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, and 2 of them are a major cause of preventable blindness around the world, particularly in low and middle-income countries. TrueSight works with thousands of local volunteers and has distributed more than 1 billion donated treatments to protect people against NTDs. They have helped to eliminate trachoma in several countries, including the Gambia, Ghana, Malawi, Benin, Mali, and most recently, Pakistan.
Yeah, it was nice flow. Well, one of the things that, especially people that are not doing voice acting or voiceovers often think is that you just do everything in one take. And it's a show of your professionalism. You're able to pause when you feel you may have stumbled, take a breath, start again with the next, with the phrase that you may have missed. So it's great. Yeah. It's great that you did that.
And I think it's one thing to be able to go in at the same tone, because that's what having done it for a long time tells you. You know the tone that you stopped at, that you can then pick up at.
It's not getting flustered. Diane Perry calls it fluffing with grace. So she just said, basically it's exactly that. It's if you make a mistake, just stop. Nobody really cares if you've made a mistake. If you were doing it live, you probably would just pull through it. But if you're doing it in a recorded session, if you can just stop and not get annoyed with yourself, and then you can just pick it up, can't you? So,
yeah, indeed.
I thought it was a bit formal.
Okay.
So it was a bit serious, really. I mean, I know it is serious, but that would be my only thing, is that it had that sort of formality about it.
Is the underlying note of that not friendly enough then?
Yeah, I think it just felt a bit serious. It's a serious subject, of course, but this is sort of, I guess this is trying to make it more relatable. How
do you find that middle ground between being serious and relatable?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
We tend to, I don't know, I suppose it's different for everyone, isn't it? And it's finding our way of doing it. There was a measuredness to that read that didn't waver, I think.
Okay, so it stayed on one level. Okay.
So I suppose that for me, if I'm listening to that, it just feels, I suppose, being able to add in, a bit more light and shade, I suppose, a bit more friendliness at times. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Such a meanie.
I know, I'm hard. He will be just as hard.
I'm used to
back.
it. I'm used to it, Spoon. It's all good. It's all good. Spoon, would you like a go at this one?
Yeah, why not? TrueSight helps to treat and prevent 5 debilitating diseases that affect more than 1 billion people globally. These are known as neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, and 2 of them are a major cause of preventable blindness around the world, particularly in low and middle income countries. True Sight works with thousands of local volunteers and has distributed more than 1 billion donated treatments to protect people against NTDs. They have helped to eliminate trachoma in several countries, including the Gambia, Ghana, Malawi, Benin, Mali, and most recently, Pakistan.
I like that. There was a sense of wonder. So with the billion in both times,
yes, that was,
the sense of wonder that came out there is like, look, we've done well, but actually we've done really well.
That's a lot of people. Like 1 billion people, goodness.
It's a lot of people.
That's like
amazing.
1/7 of the world's population.
Wow.
I mean, it's incredible when you read those, and I thought you got that awe, if you like, really well. So it felt
yes, that's
really...
a much better word than wonder. Or was definitely there.
There was a liveliness about that, actually, which I really enjoyed. How did it feel? Because I'm guessing, and it is a guess. Do you do much stuff like this?
I don't actually, if I'm being totally honest. I do more sort of character voices for like alpha leaders and monsters and stuff in video games at the moment.
Yeah.
Which your voice fits perfectly to.
And then maybe a lead kind of relatable read for a bank or something, a national bank kind of thing, you know, global campaign. Very international is where I'm placed a lot of the time.
Yes,
Which actually probably
that.
fits quite well with this. But in terms of charity, I haven't done a lot of charity.
Interesting. Sam, do you want to show us what you actually did with it?
I will. True Sight helps to treat and prevent 5 debilitating diseases that affect more than 1 billion people globally. These are known as neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, and 2 of them are a major cause of preventable blindness around the world, particularly in low and middle-income countries. True Sight works with thousands of local volunteers and has distributed more than 1 billion donated treatments to protect people against NTDs. They've helped to eliminate trachoma in several countries, including the Gambia, Ghana, Malawi, Benin, Mali, and most recently, Pakistan.
That was a bit quicker than I was expecting you to do it.
Yeah.
That trotted along at a fair old pace.
It is. It's a long piece, and I didn't go particularly slowly with it. And that's what I suppose that's why I was saying I don't think of it as a charity ad in that sense. It was a bit of, information to get people galvanised, if you like.
See, I think I was too formal because I went slowly. I think actually if I'd sped it up a bit, I would have been less formal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
So I made the wrong choice there. No, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, I felt it was great. You still, even though the pace went up, you were still able to keep the clarity. And it was very light and warm. I could almost hear the smile in your delivery in places.
It's worthwhile remembering that we are working on real scripts, but we have changed names and some of the details to avoid copyright issues. Remember, you can find both the scripts that we're using today in the show notes of this episode. Play How Do You Say That?
So, Spoon, I actually couldn't be more excited about this script. I mean, we, for a start, we've never had one called Muffin Pants, which has got to be a first. And secondly, we have never had a script like this before.
No.
Well, it's really about encouraging people to think about nutrition, how they're starting their day in a very fun way, so it's not too serious and people aren't preaching at you. And that's really at the heart of it.
What is it? Is it a radio commercial? Is it a TV commercial? What actually is the end thing?
So it's a radio commercial for a brand doing a lot in the mindfulness space.
Yep.
And they wanted to just inject a bit of comedy, again, just to find a different route to connection and engagement with their audience.
And these were all done by a single person, the same single person.
Yeah.
That same single person
I
being
noticed you're double checking that, Sam, aren't you? You were hoping to get out. You were hoping to get out of that, weren't you?
No, I'm just so excited. I mean, obviously, well, when we get onto the last line, particularly, that's going to be a sheer joy to hear, not by me. By others.
But Sam, I do want to hear how you're going to do it.
Oh my God, I really don't, but I will, obviously.
Any pointers that you can give Sam before she has a go for it?
Tap into that inner child. Just really have fun with it. Really let go of any, inhibitions and do what feels fun.
Okay.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck, studio. Okay.
Tired of choosing between breakfast and pants?
Introducing Muffin Pants. They bake while you strut.
With patented CrumbTech insulation, each cheek stays
Love it!
Sorry. With patented CrumbTech insulation, each cheek stays toasty. Back in my day, we just sat on a pie and hoped for the best.
You want carbs? You want comfort? Drop and give me flavour.
Muffin Pants. Hot buns on the run.
I love the end bit.
Do you know, the drill sergeant was the toughest for me.
How funny.
I found that so difficult.
I'm not surprised you say that, though. I thought that there was a very definite change with each of those characters. We knew that they were different people, Spoon, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. And you're jumping from different parts of your voice, moving it around your body, and you can really hear that shift. It's great.
Do you know, the best bit of direction you gave me was Inner Child?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The stupid thing about it is that when we, certainly when I used to read bedtime stories, particularly to the kids, I had no worries at all about embodying the characters that were in those stories because nobody was listening apart from the kids. And that is what I need to remember to do a little bit more often with my work. So thank you.
I'm slightly more scared than I was before you did your read now.
Really? Why
Sam,
is that?
Interestingly.
You just want to be that military drill sergeant, don't you?
Yeah.
That's it. You're in awe.
I do. That's not the one I'm most looking forward to. See if you can tell at the end which one I was most looking forward to, if it comes out
That's
right.
the game, is it? Which one did he like best?
Okay, all right. Let's see what comes out. Tired of choosing between breakfast and pants? Introducing Muffin Pants. They bake while you strut. With patented CrumbTech insulation, each cheek stays toasty.
Back in my day, we just sat on a pie and hoped for the best.
You want carbs? You want comfort? Drop and give me flavour. Muffin Pants, hot buns on the run.
It sounded like you really enjoyed the scientist in there.
Yes, that
You've been
was
waiting your whole life for that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark.
That was the one that struck me as I read it. It's like, oh, I know how
I was jealous of that scientist, I have to confess. I thought, oh, yeah, he did something really good with that. That was the one you wanted most, was it, the scientist?
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. That's probably one of my favourite scripts that we've had, actually.
What did you think, Spoon? Be as mean as you like.
No, listen, there's absolutely no need to be mean. I love the way you flip from character to character. Very consistent with the flow.
Yeah.
And you committed to the little sing-along at the bottom, right at the end there.
I'm not a singer, as you can tell.
That's also such a great word, committed to. And I think that is the thing, isn't it? I think
Right.
I'm going to take that. I'm taking that as a compliment.
So committed. I love it so much, yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Tired of choosing between breakfast and pants? Introducing Muffin Pants. They bake while you strut. With patented CrumbTech insulation, each cheek stays toasty. Back in my day, we just sat on a pie and hoped for the best. You want carbs? You want comfort? Drop and give me flavor. Muffin Pants, hot buns on the run.
Grandma was my favourite. Grandma was my favourite. Oh, my God.
And I love the fact that you actually went American with the drill sergeant. I was so tempted to do that and didn't.
Totally.
I didn't. That was so good.
Interestingly, I could picture your scientist with the white coat and the pointy stick at the blackboard and all of that. But equally, when you went fashion model, you really lent into the depth of what your voice can do, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Love it.
And did you have to? Was there a jingle that you had to stick to?
They had like a bit of music, and there was initially like, have fun, show us what you can do. And then they thought, okay, yeah, that one.
That must have been such a fun record to do.
I love it when that happens. And sometimes you can really go into a session preparing loads and, really scaring yourself into wanting to deliver. And then you get there and they're like, hey, just have fun. Like, what are you doing? Let's have a good time.
And the question that I really wanted to ask, in the session, did they do each line separately several times, or was it a question of jumping between character and character?
Well, to ensure that they had it all, it was a combination of do it a few times and let's see what's going on, and then pulling out their favourite sort of energies around each take, then going around line for line.
Well, of course, it gets more exciting now, Spoon, because we have the wildcard bit of the show. Time to approach these scripts, but in a different way.
Oh, goodness me. Making me work today.
So you, I think, Spoon, you can pick one of the scripts and give one of us, whichever one you choose, a new motivation or character.
Ooh. You see, like, I really like the message of the first script. And like you said, it's useful. Well, how about you do it like a superhero that has come to save the world?
Yes. With the which one of us do you want to do it?
Oh, you please, Sam.
Oh, me. Okay.
Fun, because it was yours in the first place. It'd be nice to hear you do it differently.
Okay. Yes. Right. So I'm superhero. So I know where I am. I know where I'm standing. I know what my cloak is doing.
Do you know what your special power is?
Oh, no, but I shouldn't I? That would be incredibly useful.
Should we give her a special power?
Give me a special power.
Let's say you can conjure electricity from your fingers.
Oh, of course I can.
Laser shooting at your eyes.
Of course I can.
Absolutely.
Okay. True sight helps to treat and prevent 5 debilitating diseases that affect more than 1 billion people globally. These are known as neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, and 2 of them are a major cause of preventable blindness around the world, particularly in low and middle income countries. What's that? True Sight works with thousands of local volunteers and has distributed more than 1 billion donated treatments to protect people against NTDs. They have helped to eliminate trachoma in several countries, including the Gambia, Ghana, Malawi, Benin, Mali, and most recently, Pakistan. Goodbye.
And she flies away.
Not sure I got that, but it was,
It's a tough one.
I thought you were being big superhero and you were there to save the world in the first 2 paragraphs, and then you saw that True Sight was actually doing it for you. And it's like, oh, what am I even doing here?
I see. No.
That's what I got
I
from
got
that.
a call in the middle to say you're needed somewhere.
Oh, okay. It's like, oh, they can deal with that.
Yeah.
I've got to go.
So that was exactly. That was it.
I've got one for you, Spoon, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like you to do your script, the Muffin Pants script.
Ooh.
But I know that in your career, in your musical career, Barry White has featured quite heavily.
Indeed.
I'd quite like you to bring the Barry White to each, so not changing the voice between lines, but I'd like you to bring the Barry White to these lines, please, because I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. All right. Tired of choosing between breakfast and pants? Introducing Muffin Pants. They bake while you strut. With patented CrumbTech insulation, each cheek stays toasty. Back in my day, we just sat on a pie and hoped for the best. You want carbs? You want comfort? Drop and give me flavor. Muffin Pants. Her buns on the run.
Oh, that did not disappoint in any way. I loved it. That's exactly what I hoped for.
It was toasty, I liked. Toasty went, oh, toasty.
Oh, nice.
I loved it.
Heavens above.
You lot have way too much fun on this show. It's,
Oh, we do. We absolutely do. But there is a serious point to this, Spoon. It's like, there isn't just one way to read a script. There are loads of different ways. And if you get stuck in trying to do something, do it outlandishly and then go back to it, and it might all fall into place again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, you're listening out for direction from the client, and it's all about how you're connecting with the audience, and they'll have a strong idea of who that audience is and how they would like you to connect with them.
I'm sure Sam's got a mean one.
I've got an actually really nice one. I want you to do Muffin Pants because it's my favourite script in the world.
Good. I'm pleased about that.
I want you to be. So, you're a lottery winner. Now, okay, so you're watching the balls fall on the lottery night. Yep. You don't know until you get somewhere in the middle that you are the lottery winner.
You know, I started thinking of bingo host as well for some reason, Sam, because you said that.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm going to write that down because I'm going to have that and a later one.
And another one.
Bingo
yes,
host
absolutely. Too right.
One.
Right, okay. So, getting ready to win. All right. Tired of choosing between breakfast. And pants. Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Introducing Muffin Pants. They bake while you strut. With patented CrumbTech insulation. Each cheek stays toasty. But back in my day, we just sat on a pie and hoped for the best. You want carbs? You want comfort? Drop and give me flavour. Muffin Pants. Buns on the run.
Where do we begin?
Wow, what a winner!
By the time you got to you want carbs, like, you know, it was going off.
He was running around, I think.
Could you see the moment the penny dropped? Yes. The final ball got there.
In your favourite bit, actually, was it within CrumbTech insulation? Was that the moment?
Yeah, I think as each cheek stays toasty as the ball fell.
Somewhere in that particular that particular line.
If you want to play along in the privacy of your own booth at home, as we said before, we've put the script in the show notes so you can have a try yourself.
Yes, definitely. Now, Spoon, I was fascinated when I was doing my research before we came on here.
Research.
You've got a really multifaceted career. So you've been a singer, or you are a singer, an actor, a voice actor, a producer, a writer. I was so excited about that. But what really struck me was your work around mindfulness for voice actors. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
With the mindfulness stuff, for me, when I was especially doing a lot of music, I just burnt out trying to balance running a business, connection with family, and me time. And so I decided that moving into any space, it was important for me to explore being more mindful, having that sense of self-awareness so I could just honestly say to myself, where am I? Where am I with things? How do I feel? Is it good for me? What do I need to let go of, you know? Mm-hmm. And what steps do I need to take in order to get to making better choices? So as I started to have fun in the voice acting world a bit more, I thought that's going to have to be my main theme, my main message that I share with clients, that I share with everyone. And especially around imposter syndrome, rejection, sort of not feeling guilty about taking time off, you know, taking time for yourself. You have to just make sure that you commit to yourself, honor yourself more, and let go. Otherwise, the stress builds up, you burn yourself out, and you can't be good to anyone, let alone yourself.
And letting go of that guilt, because I think we do feel guilty if we don't make ourselves available, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. In so many ways. And often that guilt comes from maybe stuff we learned as children, as young people. And so you feel, well, subconsciously, you don't even realize at times that you're doing stuff that's not good for you. And then so you feel guilty about it. So taking the time to become aware, reframing, looking at things differently can really make a difference. And there are a ton of tips that I can share that may be useful to the VO community and others that are checking in right now.
Oh, wow. Well, absolutely. What would be your biggest takeaway, your biggest tip that you could give somebody?
The first thing really for me is to take the time to regularly check in. Just creating awareness around what you're feeling, where you're feeling without judgment. So by doing that, you can be honest with yourself, if you allow yourself to, about what's working and why it's working, and then make a decision about what success means to you, not based on anyone else's opinion, any other pressures. Just honestly, what does success mean to you, and where is it, and how do you get there? With all of that in mind, there are also other emotions and other things that may pop up in that on that journey. So rejection, which is also a big one often for voice actors, how do you deal with that?
You've got to have a pretty thick skin, haven't you, sometimes?
Have a pretty thick skin indeed. And how do you get that skin thicker? Really at the heart of it is when someone says no, it doesn't mean that you weren't good enough. You're just not aligned with the vision of the person who created the project. So it's a directional thing.
Yeah, someone on the podcast before has said is they want chicken and you're beef. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, right. So it's not, it should, in terms of reframing, it goes from why didn't I book to what's next for me? In the gaps when there's a lull and you think, oh my gosh, I need to book something. And then you're worried about people asking you, so what have you done late? I haven't seen you. What have you been doing? You think, oh my gosh, do I make something up? What do I do? It's okay. Enjoy the spaces. Use it to rest, to reflect, to refine your craft, to think about how you can be marketing yourself differently, to do something completely different. Find a hobby, a new area to explore. And by the time you've done that, something else will likely pop up. And, remembering that you are more than a voice, especially with what's happening with AI right now. And making it consistent, setting a daily practice, literally 60 seconds of breathing, connecting around, I love affirmations, so positive statements about yourself. And often you can do that by just starting with something negative, like being honest about what's going on. I feel crap today. No one's booking me. And then just say what the opposite of that is and connect with it like you believe it. Because what you'll do is slowly squeeze out the negative thought loops. But bigger than that is if you keep a wins folder, literally on my phone, I have like a WhatsApp.
A wins folder. What a great idea.
Wins folder.
Yeah, great idea.
On my phone, wherever you feel, every time you do anything, however big or small, and just write it. And when you feel a bit low, feel like you're not good at what you do, have a read, because you have skills and experiences that mean you deserve to be where you are. You deserve to be booked. You can do it. It's not luck. It's skill. It's earned. And here are your reminders. So just little things like that can really make a difference over time. They really compound.
I can hear actually how all of those things, because you started off talking about mindfulness and what to do in the gaps, and actually then moving on to all the stuff that would help with imposter syndrome, which I know a lot of people suffer from.
What's really powerful about you owning that imposter syndrome and being honest about it is it's the start of the process to get into the other side. What we do often is pretend there's no issue. We pretend that there's no thing getting in the way, and we're just sat there in a living room with elephants that make it hard for us to get up and leave. Whereas when we take the time to say, I do have this thing, great. That acceptance, that honesty with yourself means you can now look at the other side, what that looks like, and inch towards it.
Yeah, you were just talking about reflection, and actually I think that I personally anyway, I could certainly do more reflection, and that I think that would help me in all kinds of different ways, actually. So, and it's not, we shouldn't feel guilty to take that time to reflect, that actually that will make me stronger quicker, if you see what I mean.
There's some great practical advice there, Spoon. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. A reminder that all of Elroy Spoonface Powell's details can be found in the show notes. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I've loved it. It's great fun. I had to do a couple of scripts I wasn't expecting to do.
We like to keep it fresh.
Which is great. I love what you're doing. It's fantastic. And again, thank you so much for inviting me onto your show.
No, thank you. So that is it for this week. Thanks again to Elroy Spoonface Powell. And we will be back next week with more scripts and another voiceover guest when we'll be asking, all together now, how do you say that?
How do you say that?